Okay, I've had a few people ask me the past couple days for help setting up my MATLAB synchronization, so I figured I would go ahead and make just a quick tutorial so people can reference how to pair a Blackboard course and a my MATLAB course, and then also how to set up a grade book. Okay, so I've already set all my courses up for this semester, but I figured maybe I'll just do this in one of my dev shells. So after you're logged into Blackboard, just go whatever course you want. This course is not really set up for anything yet. It's just a dev shell that I don't really use. So I figured I could go in here and just play around to show you guys how to do this in case anybody forgets. So again, this is my MATLAB. I'm just going to link a my MATLAB course to this course, okay, in Blackboard, that is. So the first thing you want to do is go up here to this plus. Now this may be different than what I showed some of you guys earlier. There's a few different ways to do this. Here's maybe the best way to do it, and again, it might be slightly different from what I told a few of you guys earlier, but I think this way is a little better. Go to like you're going to add add a tool or a content over here. Make sure you're in edit mode, because if you're not in edit mode, this plus is not going to show up. But add a tool link. Okay. Name it my MATLAB or whatever you want to name it. Make sure you make it available to users, and then go down here and select Pearson's My Lab and Mastering Tools. Submit. Here, I'll move it up here, easier access, and click on it. Okay. Now notice here, there's no links between course. We haven't actually linked anything yet, but here's kind of the starting of what we're going to do. We need to first select a My Lab and Mastering product to use with this course. At this point, you probably would be asked to log into my MATLAB if you had not already done so. But on this computer, I was in my MATLAB earlier, so I'm still logged in. What I can do is select from my existing courses, and here's all my courses. Now it's very important, whenever you pair a class with Blackboard, it's going to make a copy of whatever class I choose here. So let's say I want to pair to this course right here. Well, it's not going to pair to that actual course. It's going to make a copy of this course, and Blackboard is going to then pair to that copy, not pair to this actual section right here. It'll be exactly the same. Now, I was speaking to Eva earlier, helping her, and we learned that if you make a copy from a master shell, like that's associated with the master shell, that you will, it's possible to lose your dates if you had already made those dates. I haven't had that issue personally, but we did see that earlier today. So let's just say, what do I want to select? Okay, I'm actually working in a college algebra shell, dev shell, so I'll link a college algebra class. Okay, so let's say I link from this master right here. So I hit select. It's telling me a new edition. I don't care about that. Let's use the current edition. So here's where you can tell that it's about to make a copy, because you have to give it a new name. So let's just say tutorial copy. This isn't going to be used for anything. Let's just, if you're going to do this for your students, you would need to make, whatever actual name you wanted for the course. Then you would need to put in the dates, so we can put, the 5th. Let's say till May 1st is the last day of class. But whatever you want. Okay, create course. Okay, now it's going to take a few minutes. Hopefully it doesn't take more than a few minutes. The way to tell if your course is done or not is if you go to My Math Lab and then log in. Okay, see it says this is being created. So, I'll check back in just a minute. And whenever this is blue, that means it's ready to go. Let's see here, anything else we can do? So we're back in our My Math Lab tool menu. And notice here, it's changed. Okay, we have a link to all assignments. We have a link to the course homepage, gradebook, assignment manager. Do note that anything a student does not need to see will be hidden from students. For instance, let me go to student preview real fast. Go to My Math Lab. And this is what they see. So notice they don't see the assignment manager and announcement manager and all that other stuff, that the instructor needs. This is all they see. All assignments, and then Pearson, e-text, and course home. Okay, and then there's a browser checking some stuff like that. Now, if you want to link to specific assignments, you can do that. It's not hard. Like, let's say I wanted to give my students links to every specific assignment. All right. Well, before I show how to do that, let me make sure this course is live already. Yeah, okay, it's live. So that course is done. So I can close this out. Let's say I want to link to a specific assignment. Now, the way you have to do that is to either go into a content area or create a content area. So here's course content. It's currently empty. Let's say I want to add a bunch of links in here to specific assignments. I usually don't do this. I usually just let students use the all assignments link that we already have in this area right here. But let's just say you wanted more specific links. And you can do what I'm about to show you. You can do this in any content area. So if I wanted to create a new content area named assignments, or if I wanted to deep link assign specific assignments into modules, you could also do what I'm about to show you. So go to Tools, go to Pearson's My Lab and Mastering Content, and then you can select whatever you want as a link. Okay, so for this particular My Math Lab shell, there's a whole bunch of options, pretty much everything that's in the course. So if I hit Show All down here, here's all the possible stuff. Nope, that's not all the possible stuff. It is not wanting to show everything for some reason. Well, if Chrome was cooperating, you could show the entire thing. But let's just say I want to link specifically, to My Math Lab homework. Now remember, on the Tools menu that we already created, there already exists this link right here, and this link right here, and this link right here, I believe it is, or maybe just those two. I might be mistaken. But let's say you want to link to specifically the ebook. Well, we can link specifically to the ebook. And let's say we want to link specifically to, it doesn't matter. Let's say we want to link specifically to Mike's video on Chapter 2. Well, hit Submit. Oh, no selected items. Yeah, there is. Oh, Chrome is not cooperating. Let's hit refresh and see what happens. Let's see. What did we say? We said Mike Schramm's video on Chapter 2, and then we said the e-book. So let's see. Submit. Yeah, and there we are. See? We have specific links to the ebook. Takes a few seconds, or more than a few seconds maybe. So there's the ebook, the college algebra ebook, direct link, and then here's a direct link to, too bad there's due dates on that. Well, I have to alter the due dates. That is one thing you have to consider. So the due dates on that were last semester, so you can't access it. My bad on that. Okay, but yeah, you can add whatever specific links you want as long as you're in a content area. But you know, at the very least, when you add that tools menu, you have this already. This is what the students will see, but these are all tools for you. Okay, so you can go directly to the assignment manager, and then you can change all of those due dates. Okay, we have all this stuff. We can, you know, all the stuff you would do in my math lab, except now you have direct links. You have direct links to the gradebook. So now you don't have to go to mymathlab.com, log in, go a few menus deep. Now you can go to Blackboard and you're a one-stop shop for everything. And again, if you want to give direct links inside modules or any other content area, all you have to do is go to Tools, go to Pearson's My Mastering Content. You know, if you want to add a direct link to homework section 2.8, there we go. And you can do that under any content area you want to in my math lab. Now, all we have done thus far is add links to Blackboard from Blackboard to my math lab. We haven't done anything as far as grade synchronization is concerned. So to do that, let's go to the Grade Center. So go to Grade Center, Full Grade Center, or you can always just click this little arrow, and that'll take you directly to the Full Grade Center. Okay, notice this is a dev shell. I hope this works. I'd never try to do this in a dev shell. But then we go to Manage, go to Manage Pearson, My Lab, and Mastering Grades. And we want to set up grade synchronization. Now, you don't necessarily want to use that option because that's going to import a column for every possible assignment in my math lab. And remember, lots of times we have videos labeled as assignments. You have to label them as assignments to make them show up to students, but they're not graded. So you don't want to select everything. What we want to do is select individual assignments. Now that that's set up, now we haven't added anything yet. We want to add some columns. Okay. Now hopefully the show all will work here. Yes. Okay. Show all worked this time. Chrome cooperated. Now what you want to do, you could certainly select everything. We already explained that that's a bad idea. You don't want to do that. What you want to do is select everything by category. Now by category I mean, you know, all the tests. Select them together. Import them. Then go back and select all the homework. Import them. Now the reason we're going to do that, so let's just go ahead and do tests. So test 1, 2, 3, 4 right here. Okay. Those are all our tests, and we are going to select just those grades, and we're going to create a column for each of those assignments. So submit. This next page is very important. It tells us what we selected. We just selected test 1, 2, 3, 4. We do want to, you know, leave that check mark, leave that checked, so we import those grades and they're used in grade calculations. But we want to, the important thing is we want to label those as tests. So here's all my possible categories in Blackboard. Now notice these are the default categories. Test is one default category. We want to label these as tests. And you'll see why this is really important in a few minutes when we go to make our final grade calculations. So now if you go to Grade Center, oh yes, okay, now notice this looks really strange because we don't have any students in here. I'll tell you what, this is what I can do. I can enter preview mode, exit preview mode, and keep my preview mode data, and there will be one student in the class, I think. Again, this is a dev shell, it's kind of strange. Yes, okay, so now there's one student. Now it doesn't look so strange. The columns just looked non-existent because there was no students. So see what I imported? I imported test 1, test 2, test 3, test 4. Exactly how they were labeled in Blackboard. In fact, they'll have the exact same due dates as you had them, They're labeled exactly how they were in my math lab, and they'll have the exact same due dates. Not that that really matters. It'll just mess up your retention center if you refresh grades after the due date, but that's not super important. Notice here, let's go to quick column information. There's the name, the exact name it was in my math lab. I have 100 points, and the important thing is, oh, it's not labeled here, but let's just look at the edit column information. The important thing is it's a test. The category is a test. That's what we wanted. Now, we also have in the My Math Lab shell, we have quizzes and we have homework. Unfortunately, Blackboard does not have a default category for homework and quizzes. So we need to make categories for homework and quizzes. So go over here to Manage, go to Categories. We need to create a category, and let's just call it Homework. There we go. And create another category, and let's call it Quizzes. So now we've created 2 more categories. Notice here that I have those chapter tests, but I just noticed a problem here. Part of this dev shell had the Start Here quiz labeled as a test. I don't want that to mess up my real test average, so I'll need to go to that Start Here menu item and change it to a different category. That's very easy to do. Go over here, let's find that Start Here. Oh, there it is. Start Here. Go to Edit Column Information, and let's not label that as a test. No category. And then I want to say there was 2. Yep, there's 2 of them. I'm not sure why this dev shell has 2 Start Here quizzes. Again, I never even used this dev shell, I don't think. So let's go ahead and make that be no category as well. So now I'll go back to categories, and notice the only thing that are labeled as test is test 1, chapter 1, test 2, test 3, test 4. That's exactly what I wanted. Okay? Now, let's go back to our My Math Lab stuff. Go to Manage, go to Pearson's My Lab and Mastering Grades, add grade columns. So we've imported tests. Now we want to import homework or whatever other categories you want. Go to Show All. So here, let's see, I think this is Eva's shell, and the quizzes, I believe, are these. So let's just go ahead and do quizzes. They're all the stuff that's not labeled homework, but obviously not the final exam. So there's some quizzes, let's see, a bunch of homework, and then some quizzes down here. I believe these are her quizzes. That's not a quiz, obviously, some videos. I think that's a quiz too. Okay, I could be wrong, just playing around here, but I think those are quizzes. So now hit submit. I'm going to import all of these. Again, here's all the stuff that make sure you're importing the right stuff, and we're going to label those as quizzes. Hit submit, and now if I go to my gradebook, now I have a bunch of columns labeled just like they were in my math lab. And look here, I guess I can't point my finger and show you to, but notice when I hover over each of these, it tells me, if you look like above where my name is, Taylor, right above that it says possible 12, that's points. Then it has a line that says quizzes, that's the category. So notice it says quizzes right there, but then if I go over here and hover over there, over test 4, it says possible 100, that's the total points possible. Then there's a line that says test, then another line, that's the category test. So that's the way you can double check to make sure you have the right categories. Now, so we've added tests, we've added quizzes, now let's add homework. So go again to Manage, we're going to repeat that process again. 3rd time. Let's go to Add Columns. Now let's add all of the homework, okay? So we need to show all so we can see everything on one page. Then let's just add all of the homework. It'll take just a sec, but it's not bad. This 30 minutes it might take you, and you can get, once you have a little bit of practice over a couple semesters, it'll take you a lot less. it'll save you a whole lot of time over the course of a semester. So there we are. We've selected all the homework assignments. Hit submit. Again, double checked that you didn't accidentally select a test or anything, but those are all homeworks. And then we want to label those as such. Homework. Submit. And now go to your full grade center, and you'll notice that now you have all of your homeworks. Let's see, hover over one of them. Notice above my name, Taylor, it says possible, 12. That's 12 points possible. Homework is the labeling, is the category. Now, let's see here. You need to make a course grade, of course. Now, by default, you're going to have these two columns in any Blackboard shell. Total, pretty much worthless. Get rid of it. Now, usually the total is going to be the external grade by default. It'll have the green check mark. You'll have to first put the green check mark somewhere else, then delete that column. Weighted total, also garbage. Get rid of it. What you want to do is create a column. Create a calculated column. Now, again, this only works if you calculate grades using a weighted average. If you use a point system, of course, you can convert to a weighted average if you want to. But I tend to use weighted averages for all my classes. Let's call this final grade. Or better yet, let's call it course grade. Okay. Now, why did we do all of that categorization to start with? The reason we did that is because now we can create a weighted average, and it will automatically average all the tests, all the homework, and then create a calculated average, a weighted average as well. So let's see here. What is our grade going to be comprised of? Let's say in this class, there's quizzes. Now here, notice it lists everything that's labeled as a quiz. Here's all the quizzes. So we want quizzes, we want homework, here's all the homeworks. We want tests, of course, here's all the tests. Now always double check this because you don't want anything weird. You could have made a mistake when you imported those columns. Now this course, college algebra, let's just say there's those three things. Of course, let's say if you want to give a participation grade, you could have done that. Or, just for the heck of it, let's say you want a participation grade. Notice here, I'm not done here. This is giving me a warning because I'm not done here. Just hit OK. We'll come back to it. Let's say you want to add a participation grade. Well, that's going to be something you just input. So you need to just create a column for that. Let's call it participation, if I can spell right. Let's say it's out of 100 points. And let's give it no category because we're not worried about having multiple grades and averaging those grades. So let's just create a column. There we go. We created a column way over here that's called participation. At the end of the semester, we'll give you 100, a 90, a 50, whatever. So let's go back to that column course grade. Click it, the little chevron on the right. First of all, let's set it as external grade. You have to have something marked as a external grade for data to be collected, or else Mike Pelletero will call you and tell you and ask you what's going on with your grades. Go back to edit column information. So let's go back to where we were. So now, let's say we want to add participation to the mix. Well, participation is just a single column, so we can go over here to that these are all single columns, and add participation. And now, here's all the things that will comprise our grade. Notice, since we selected these as a category, we can do things like drop a lowest grade. We can weight the columns, all of the tests equally, or we can weight them proportionally. All that kind of stuff. Now, I think most all of us are going to weight equally, but there's something to be said. If you wanted to weight your quizzes proportionally, you could certainly do that. So let's say, let me just make up some numbers. Let's say quizzes are worth 10%. Let's say homework is worth 10%. Let's also say that we're going to drop the two lowest homework scores, and let's say we're going to drop the one lowest quiz score. Oh, let's say participation is what, like 5%. Now what's that leave over? That leaves, that's 25, so that leaves 75% for tests. Notice here, you clearly want the weighted average, the sum of the weights to be 100%. So that's good there. So now, and of course these settings should be good by default. If you want to show students how they compare to other students as far as the mean and median, that kind of stuff is concerned, feel free to check that. And now we have a course grade that it's the weighted average, and all of these things except for participation and actually everything except for participation is going to come straight from Blackboard, not from Blackboard, from my math lab. Okay, let's say these are completely out of whack as far as the order is concerned. You know, you don't want the final grade being way over here. So let's go over here to Manage Column Organization, and we can rearrange all those columns. Now, you don't really need a username. Now, you can't hide student ID, I believe it is, if you want reach outs to work in Blackboard. If you hide both of these, then reach outs, you won't be able to do reach outs directly from Blackboard. But you can get rid of username if you want to. So let's hide username and hide availability. So we need last name, first name, sure. We need student ID, and I like to have last access because that tells me how long, obviously how long ago a student logged in. And now we can rearrange all of these columns. Now there's a whole bunch of stuff. I'm not even sure what some of this stuff is. Module 1, A1, I have no idea. That's just something that happened to be in there from this dev shell. No earthly idea. But let's just say I want course grade to be first. So let's... Oh, my scrolling is... This is Chrome. I forgot Chrome is acting up with this. I can't do this right now. I forgot that Chrome was not working with me. I had to do this in Firefox earlier because Chrome wasn't cooperating. If you select that little cross and simply scroll up while holding it, you can rearrange all of these. In fact, let's just go ahead and do that. I'll show you. Let's just use IE. As much as I hate IE, let's see, Blackboard. Let's just log in real fast. Again, I'm not sure why my Chrome is not cooperating for some reason. Let's see, I think I was in this one right here. Let's go back to Grade Center. Let's go to Column Organization, and now this should work. Let's see. We are going to, oh, you know what? I never hit Submit on that previous page. Let's hit Submit real fast. That way it'll save those few changes that I made. And now let's see here. Let's refresh this page. Actually, let's hit Cancel and come back in here. Manage, Column Organization. See how now those are hidden. Let's say I want course grade. All you have to do is this. Move it up. All I did was hold it, move it up. Let's say I want participation. Move it up. Test 1, test 2, test 3, test 4. Just click that little cross and move it. Oh, not that. Okay, and you can arrange these however you desire. One last little thing I usually do for my students is I create an average column, and what I do is call this, say test average. And what I can do is select a category of just tests, and this will tell students what their test average is. The course grade is not necessarily feeding from this test average column, but they're going to convey the same information. They're going to be using the same information. The tests are going to feed into here, and the tests are going to feed into that test average column. One place where you, I'll do the same thing for quiz. Quiz average. okay, then go over here, not all columns, select columns or select categories, and quizzes. Again, double check to make sure everything you want is in there. And then you could do things, you know, since we dropped 2 in the main average, in the final course grade we want to drop 2 here. And then you have a quiz average. And you can do the same thing for a homework average. Okay? And that's pretty much it. You know, I've probably gone into more detail than you would even need on this gradebook stuff. But that's all it takes. You know? So now students have access to my math lab via a single sign-on. I always tell my students to, you know, obviously remember their username and password from my math lab in the event that Blackboard is inaccessible for some reason. Because if you don't have a username and password to my math lab and Blackboard is down, well, then you can't access it because you can't get to the link which is in Blackboard. But you can always go to mymathlab.com and or a student can always go to mymathlab.com and log in with their credentials and work that way. This way is just a lot easier. You have a single sign-on. You log into Blackboard. You can see any announcements or course messages, and then you can go to My Assignments. You know, go to My Math Lab, link right here. My Assignments or the textbook, or if your instructor, if the instructor wants to insert direct links like we did right here, you can have direct links to the ebook or assignments or only homework. You know, we didn't do that earlier. You could add a link to just homework. And there we are. You know, you could add a link, and you could put, again, you could put these links in any content area you want to. So, if you have any questions, I think I pretty much covered it. If you have any questions, feel free to stop by my office or email me. I've been doing this for a little while. You know, I've always synced. Last little thing, I almost forgot. With my math lab, the synchronization for grades does not happen automatically. You have to, whenever grades are due, go here to this, you know, you're in your gradebook, go to manage, click on Pearson, hit refresh grades. Now automatically on this next page, it's going to have everything it's possible to refresh. So notice here, I have actually 2 pages. So if I hit show all, it should show everything, if everything will cooperate. It's not cooperating. You know, there's 46 items, so it's only showing the first 26, it looks like. So by default, it's going to sync everything that you've previously synced. Just always do that. There's no reason. If you wanted to sync a select column, you could select, you know, 2 and then just sync those. But there's really no penalty for just syncing everything. If the grade hasn't been, if the assignment hasn't been worked on yet, nothing is going to sync. I suppose if you didn't want to, I suppose there's a case to be made if you didn't want to sync things that are not due yet, because let's say a student has worked on a future assignment that's not due yet, has only worked on 2 problems, and so the student has earned 2 points out of 20 points. Well, that's going to show in my math lab as 2 out of 20, which is going to show as a bad grade, even though it's not due yet. So a case could be made that shouldn't show as a bad grade yet. I don't really worry about that, but there's something to be said. If you only want to sync stuff that's due, you can manually select whatever assignments you want and just sync those. I don't usually worry about that though, because I don't have a whole lot of students working it really that far ahead. Okay, so hit submit. It's going to say how many grades there are to sync. Right now, there's nobody has worked on anything, or this is a dev shell. I have no students, so nobody has worked on anything. And there's 46 columns. It's going to import everything it can. You will get 2 emails to your IRSC faculty email account. All I do is I have a filter set up, in my email that just filters them straight out. I don't even have to worry about them, but they will get kind of bothersome because you're going to get 2 emails from Pearson every time you refresh grades. If you refresh grades, once or twice a week, that's a lot of emails. But again, it's just a minor annoyance, and you can easily filter them out. Okay, that's it. I think I have, I've talked about everything. I've said this once already, but I think I've talked about everything possible to talk about. It's been 35 minutes and 32 seconds, so I think I'll call it a day. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to email me or ask me whenever you see me. I'll help out anybody who wants to help out. If you have questions about syncing other stuff like Alex Connect, maybe Wiley Plus, or WebAssign, I'm pretty good on those too. I can help you out on those. Maybe I'll make some videos, but my math lab is clearly the one we use the most in the department, so I figured I'd go ahead and make a video for that one. You guys have a good one. I'm sure I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a good weekend, and good luck with all your preparation.